Good morning. So we got a lot of stuff to do today in terms of car maintenance. Today is my day to get this car, my Lexus CT200h, for maintenance mode, and my plan is to get the oil change done, change the inverter coolant and transmission fluid, change the cabin air filter, engine filter, rotate my tires, change the spark plugs because the car is approaching 120,000 miles, and yeah, time to get it done. I just realized I got some of the parts, but not all of the parts. I gotta go and get oil, gotta get oil filter, but for now, I think I'm gonna just jack the car up and get the process started. Let's go. But before working on my car, gotta get some nutrition.
Again, an excellent witness, a great way to end the defense case.
Time to pop the hood and get this show on the road. So my plan is to change the inverter coolant as well as the engine coolant after about 120,000 miles. You gotta change that so it doesn't degrade too much, and this is what I'm gonna change it to. Just make sure to get the OEM because OEM is better. So let's take a look at my engine on the Lexus CT200h. As I mentioned earlier, we have the inverter coolant, and of course the inverter is right here. There's a plate underneath this. There's a lot of component that I don't want to mess with, so I'll leave that alone. And over here is the engine coolant. Hook up to the water belt. As you can tell, there's no 17 belt in this engine. It's running by water belt, and yeah, just one less component that I need to mess with. No 17 belt. The next thing I want to do on this maintenance is to replace all my spark plugs. I got 4 spark plugs. They're over here. I choose to go with the Denso Iridium spark plugs. The model is this SE20HR11. So we'll change that. This is the oil dipsticks. Oil is OW20. I'll be doing an oil change as well. And lastly, probably gonna change the air filter in the engine and the cabin air filter. I will also need to fill my windshield washer fluid, which sits over here. Since I'm working on a car that has high voltage, it's important to do all the necessary safety measures so that I don't get, into trouble. And one of the things that I learned to do is to make sure to shut down the safety switch. And the way that you have access to the safety switch is through here. Let me remove all this first. Good goodness. Lots of stuff. Move these away. That will give me access to the spare tire. And in the spare tire, you can see that there's a safety switch over here. And this safety switch will allow for me to disengage the high power. And the way to do it is to move this ball over here. If I can move it. And then unlock it like this and remove that. That will disengage the big electrical power and allow for me to work on the car safely. Since we're on the trunk, let's talk about where the battery lives. It's right here. You have a little first aid kit. There's a little bolt in here that you can remove to get access to the 12-volt battery that sits over here. Yeah, this one is a special type of batteries that you just can't buy a regular battery to fit in. I think it's a pretty expensive battery, at least $200-300. So hopefully I don't have to change it anytime soon. The next step is to remove the undercarriage protector, and it's holding by these little clip tab. There's a bunch of them. I'll count them and I'll see if we can remove all of them. I'll show you. But yeah, gotta pop all of them out so I can remove this shroud to have access into the drain plug for the inverter. I removed the shroud. I want to clean it up a little bit, make it look a little bit nice and neat. Now that I have the underneath carriage shroud removed, I can have access to the inverter drainage plug over here. But I need a 10mm hex to unscrew this, and I don't have that. So I gotta run to the store and grab that real quick. And then of course, change the oil here, oil filter here. I'll go ahead and work on that soon. Had to make a quick Walmart trip run to get my oil filter. Look, they actually have OEM Toyota oil filter at Walmart now, so that's pretty cool. And since I need a 10mm hex, I have to buy this. Oh, what else? Went to Advanced Auto Part to get me some, what is this, like drain plug gasket. Hopefully that will fit. Let's go. So now the next step is to drain out the inverter fluid and the engine coolant. Let's do it. All right, let's do this. Got a bucket in. Got my 10mm hex in place. This thing is tight. I need to get some more force first. Finally, it took me a while to try to loose this bow, but I finally did it. And now comes the avalanche. Here it is. Yes, get it done. Look at that. Got that one drained. Now I gotta go and drain that one and the radiator. The next place to drain is the radiator. There's a red yellow plug over here. Right here. I have to undo that, and that will drain the rest of the transmission fluid, coolant, and the radiator fluid, coolant. That'll be next, but I gotta wait for that to finish draining. So this is the drain plug for the transmission fluid, not the transmission fluid, but the inverter coolant fluid. This is the crushed gauze that goes in here. It's an 18mm, and I went to Advanced Auto Part and I got this part, which should be a nice replacement. Crushed copper. Ta-da! As mentioned, the next on the list of things to drain is the radiator fluid. That yellow cap right there, I kind of loosened up a little bit. I think it's going to be splashing pretty forcefully, so I'm going to go slowly. Hopefully it doesn't splash too much. Slowly. Oh, there it is. Not too bad. I'll just let that continue to drain. Oh, okay, that a little more. Yeah. So you don't have to open up fully, just enough for it to drain adequately, and that won't be such a mess. Well, that is draining. Let's work on getting the spark plugs out and put new ones in. Got that drain. New washer on here. So this needs to go back, and it needs to be torqued down 29 foot-pound of torque. It's gonna be interesting trying to find my torque wrench, find a way to torque it down, because this is a 3/8 and my torque wrench is 1/4. So quick update, yesterday I ran into a problem when I was using the spark plug socket 5/8. As I drop into the first port, it wouldn't remove anything. It wasn't necessarily seized, but it just keep on spinning without getting any traction, and I just couldn't get it out, couldn't get the socket out from the port. And it just took hours of me trying to maneuver it. I just couldn't get it out. And as I was thinking about it overnight, I thought that, if I keep on twisting and move it slowly upward, eventually it will come up. And surely enough, it did. So thankfully I'm able to retrieve that. Now I got to figure out a better way to remove the spark plugs without running into the same problem. I'm probably going to try to see if I can use just a regular 3/8 socket instead of a 5/8 and see if it works. So this one right here is difficult. So you want to have a flat like this.